Hello and welcome to Kenneth's Corner. Today I'll go over my number rating system in the spectrum of quality of films that I've seen. So 1 through 10, that's the way it goes. So you might be wondering why go over something as arbitrary as a number rating system. Well, first of all, because I can go over whatever I want in my corner, but more importantly, because I think it's a good way to describe what constitutes a good movie for me personally. One thing you have to remember is that a good movie for you is completely subjective. Ultimately, your review of a film becomes a form of self-expression, what you like, what you value, and so on. It's probably why me and the guys do these reviews. I learned in a script writing class that you can say any movie is good or bad if you can justify it with actual evidence from the movie. The evidence you find is what stands out to you in the film. In our Man of Steel review, Matt and Grant justified why they hated the film, and David justified why he thought the film was great. As long as they could each justify their position, no side is right or wrong. They're just expressions in and of themselves. By that same token, Grant and David didn't like Iron Man 3, while I thought it was great. So it all comes down to personal taste. All that said, I've compiled a list of how I rate films on a scale of 1 to 10. It's my scale, but you are most certainly welcome to use it as a tool to find out for yourself what you like in film and why you like particular films. So let's get started. I know I could go from 1 through 10, so we'd end on a positive note, but since I'm a cynical asshole, I'll go in the other direction. So my 10 ratings. 10 out of 10. My favorite films ever. So I compiled a list of 25 films which I would say are my personal favorites. 10 of them are kind of just classic films that no one would argue with me about whether they're great or not, or very few would anyway. Another 10 are kind of guilty pleasures for me, things that I like but probably would never make anyone else's top 10 list, and 5 other films that are from my favorite genre, the Western. So an example for me of a 10 out of 10 would be Casablanca. So, pretty obvious one, but you get the idea. 9 out of 10. Truly great films, but films that don't quite reach my top 25. I would say this is a film that really is great, but isn't it doesn't have the certain nostalgia or feeling that I get that would reach a 10 out of 10. It's still great. I love it. One recent example would be the Academy Award winner Argo, which I thought was great. A 9 out of 10 film would be a film I would go out of my way to watch on TV if it came on, and it's one I would go out of my way to buy. An example from our reviews would be The Dark Knight. I gave that film a 9 out of 10 because I think it's really great. 8 out of 10. A great film. Not one that goes that far of an extra mile to reach a 9 out of 10, but something that's great that really stands out to you. It's a film I would buy if I happen to have extra cash on me, and it's a film I would watch if it's on TV. An example would be in our upcoming review, we're going to review Avengers, and I gave that film an 8 out of 10. I thought it was great. 7 out of 10. A good film. A film I might buy, and a film I'd probably watch if I catch it on TV. It's a film that in and of itself doesn't have any real problems, but doesn't go that extra mile to make it great. It's a film that can be enjoyed, but one that you probably won't go back to you probably would go back to every so often, not one that you would think, oh, I better watch that movie. An example for me would be The Incredible Hulk. As I said, I thought that was a good film, but it really didn't go that extra mile. As I mentioned, if the deleted scenes had been kept in, add a little more development, it would have given me a little more incentive, made me a little more invested in what's happening. 6 out of 10. An alright film. A film I probably wouldn't buy, and a film I wouldn't bother with on TV unless there's nothing else on. They're mostly sort of boring in that the good elements kind of cancel out the bad. I can see why others would like these films, but I personally didn't attach myself to them. And a few examples would be, for me, would be the Matrix sequels. Man of Steel is an example, as you saw from our review. And this is going to really piss off David and Grant. The Amazing Spider-Man kind of fits in this category for me as well. 5 out of 10. A bad but watchable film. A movie I would watch with my friends to pretty much just have fun laughing at it. We'd probably end up chatting the whole film, just making fun of what's going on the screen. Two recent films from this year that kind of fit the bill are Die Hard 5 and Olympus Has Fallen. They are both very, very dumb, stupid movies. But I can see myself on just a rainy day if they happen to be on and there's nothing else on. Sure, why not? I'll watch them. I really wouldn't go out of my way for them, and they are most certainly bad films. 4 out of 10. A downright bad film. These are films that I have absolutely no intention of watching again. They're a movie I would watch with friends if they insisted, but I would probably spend the whole time texting, or I guess that's what you kids do these days. They're films that are just downright bad. They're not horrible, but they're bad. Good example of a 4 out of 10 movie for me, one that we've reviewed, is Green Lantern. It's not super horrible, but it's not good either in any way, shape, or form. Most certainly a bad movie, and one I would never, ever have any intention of watching again. 3 out of 10. The cheaply made bad film. These are films that are pretty much on par with 4 out of 10, but they have the added D value of being done on a shoestring budget. Of course, not all cheaply made films are bad. In fact, if a film has a good story, I can overlook the production values and special effects completely. However, if a story is bad, terrible, and stupid, the lack of a budget makes the film more stupider. Then again, there are really bad films like these on Sci-Fi Channel, many of which are by Roger Corman, like Sharktopus, NYC, Tornado Terror, Dino Croc vs. Super Gator, Battle of Los Angeles, ripoff of Battle Los Angeles, and Sasquatch Mountain. They all could theoretically fit into category 5 because they're so bad they're actually fun to laugh at. But movies like these that are super duper cheap, they deserve their spot here just because they're super duper cheap. 2 out of 10. Insultingly, panderingly stupid films. This one's kind of tough because I want to say children's films are good examples, but there's a lot of those that are really good. Here I'm thinking more along the lines of movies that are made for children that even children would think are really stupid. Though there are a lot of films in this category, since I tried not to watch movies this bad, I don't have too many examples, but the first one that comes to mind is the live-action Inspector Gadget movie. I try not to think too much about this film because it's bad, but I distinctly remember the stupid, retarded talking car, who is less stupid than the main character for some reason, exclaiming out loud, "It's a Disney movie!" Yeah, thanks, in case we forgot, you dumb piece of crap. And last and most certainly least, 1 out of 10, the insulting film. 2 out of 10 films may be insultingly stupid, but 1 out of 10s are just insulting. These are films that are so bad, they make me regret ever being part of the human race. Films that actually make me angry. Once again, I don't watch these films because, I try to watch good movies, and I don't like watching films that make me want to punch something. So the only example that comes to mind right now is Freddy Got Fingered. The brilliant genius effort by comedian Tom Green. Yeah, thanks a lot, schmuck. Since I think films like this are as bad as cancer, I'll give only one example from this turd, where it climaxes with Tom Green's character jacking off an elephant to fire semen at his father, who's trying to kill him for falsely accusing his father of fingering his brother. As if I have to say any more. If I had a copy of this heaping, steaming pile of crap in my house, I would take a hammer, smash it into tiny microscopic pieces, and pay NASA to throw them into the sun. From what I've heard from Red Letter Media, the recent movie 43 kind of fits the bill for this. So, if you'd like, find your copies of this film and smash them into pieces as well. Now, don't get the idea that I think all raunchy comedies fit into this category. teen films from the 80s like Porky's, etc., at least have some modicum of intelligence. These, however, will make you dumberer. So, those are my ratings on films I've seen. I hope you found the discussion insightful, and if you didn't, oh well. If you have your own way of categorizing the quality of films, please, by all means, comment below. That's Kenneth's Korner Episode 2. Join me next time when I go over my favorite movies. So, take care.